This is the iPhone 17e. This isn't a filmmaker-oriented camera at all. It comes with just one lens, doesn't shoot ProRes or log, but can we make the footage out of this look cinematic? But before we even start, we gotta figure out the right settings to shoot with. And to do that, we'll actually be using the Blackmagic Camera app. This is completely free, so install that, and once it launches up, you should see something like this. Let's talk about what we're shooting in. So go into your settings, under your codec, make sure you're shooting in HEVC or H.265. Of course, depending on your phone, these settings could differ, but 265 is the best option to shoot with. Then scroll down to your bitrate and make sure you're shooting at the highest bitrate possible. Next, under resolution, you can choose to record in 4K or open gate. What's open gate? Is basically using your entire sensor, and it makes the video a bit more squarish, giving you more room at the top and the bottom in case you want to crop for both horizontal and vertical. In our case, we're going to stick with 4K. Next, your color space. If your phone supports log, this is where everything is perfect. But again, like I said, in this case with the 17e, we don't get any log, so we're going to stick to Rec 709. Now, of course, a huge part of filming with any camera, not just your phone, is going to be using things like your shutter speed, your ISO, white balance. All of those are pretty common information that applies to every camera. We're not really going to go in depth here for this video. We have made a whole course explaining exactly how to use every single one of these features. So if you're more interested in learning filmmaking to the professional grade level, even with a phone that isn't meant for it, definitely check out our course. It's going to be down in the description. But let's continue shooting with whatever we have now. So for this camera specifically, I would rather do static shots because it's capturing a moment and it's like a landscape sort of filler shot. So I don't need a lot of movement. In this case, I have this really nice walkway that goes down, leading lines and everything. And I'm going to hit record. Let's hope nobody crosses now. All right, I'm happy with that as well. It's getting so dark, by the way. We chose the worst time to shoot this, but let's keep going. Okay, for now this section, I got it off the tripod because I want to add a little bit of movement. Even though it's not with the ultra wide, I have to be extra careful with my movement. So I'm going to put it on the stabilization mode the highest I can without too much cropping. And then I'm going to do a simple pan down as I walk forward shot. So let's try that out. So what we did there is called the crab walk. You look like a fool. Footage looks great. Let's do a simple pan, hit record. Nice. Okay, let's go one floor up. So now in this case, I have a frame of the main head, or what do you call it? The top of the temple? Top of the temple? Head of the temple? The roof of the temple? Main roof of the temple. So I could frame this just like this. And honestly, looks pretty good. But I have this off to the side, which is like the side pillar sort of thing, side pillar off there. But to fill up this frame perfectly, we also have these lanterns in the foreground. So instead of just standing right over here, if I were to go back just slightly, I can actually get all of these in frame. And then if I add in a very simple like pan, it looks super dynamic. So I'm going to start here and pan down. That adds a lot more of a dynamic look to it. Now, the iPhone 17e doesn't really have a telephoto camera, like I said, but it does have that in-camera, in-sensor zoom. So we're gonna try that out. It's a 2x equivalent. So if I'm in my lenses, I can tap on that and look at our 52mm. That gives me a bit of magnification without losing too much resolution, and that's what I'm gonna shoot at. I'm also gonna reduce my ISO just a little bit to get that tighter shot and hit record. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick way of making this look cool. So I'm going to hit record and then I'm just going to walk into frame. Yep, I like that. Looks very empty, very nice. Very nicely balanced because of the rule of thirds. Amazing. Again, you want to know more about the rule of thirds and stuff? It's all in the course. We have explained everything like bit by bit, but let's continue. Okay, I have to change the tripod just so I can get the angle just right. So we're actually going to do 2 shots for this. So it's really good to visualize your shot before you do it. So I know one shot I want walking straight down. The second shot I'll take is maybe from the side with the 2x lens, getting the same angle. So I want a shot of me walking down. So I'm going to hit record right over here. I'm going to go up. Did that look cool? Look cool or not? Damn it, Celine! What I'm going to do now is the second angle, which is what I was actually excited about, which would be right over here. And we're going to do the same exact thing twice. So I'm going to do one wide, one tight. Umbrella, please. And then I'm done with that. I'm gonna hit done, and I'm gonna hit a 52 little action there, and then record at the same exact spot. Okay, and by doing that, we have 3 different shots of the same exact action, so I can cut through with 3 different focal lengths. Very nice. I think we can do one right over here. Yo, your shot. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. You were done, I saw you were done. Stop pretending. You're lucky you're my boss. Okay, I'm gonna do this one where I'm just gonna walk up to the little thing and then just stand there. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So there I did something a little bit not really pre-planned, but it feels like it would make sense to do it. So I like tapped on the thing. I don't know if you guys saw that. Enhance, zoom please. So I came up here earlier and then I was looking and I was like this. And I'm gonna go loop, loop, loop. Because of that, we've actually got 2 shots that connect each other while still being shot solo. Make sense? Makes sense. Anything else I can do here? You know what? Just for the heck of it, let's try zooming into the max that this phone can do, even if it's... Nope, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's terrible. It looks so bad. Okay, we got it. Ready?
Yeah. Let's go. Holy moly. Was that cute?
Our shoots are cursed.
Yeah, it is, kinda. Can you hear me? Our shoots are cursed. I was a bit too close for comfort.
All right, so now you've shot all of your footage on the iPhone 17e. I'm just gonna show you the basics of color grading and how you can use our quick LUT to really elevate your footage within seconds. So I'm gonna show you exactly how we go through the process of tying these in together. So these are the shots I picked for the sake of the tutorial. One is the reveal shot that I really like. The second is walking into frame. The third is a very nice sort of composition framing shot. And the final one is just something with nature to show you some B-rolls that you can get. If you don't know how to use DaVinci Resolve and you wanna get like a full comprehensive, like A to Z on everything you need to know on color grading your footage, whether it's on log footage, regular footage, you shoot it on a Nokia phone, it does not matter. We actually have a course out explaining everything, which I talked about earlier. It's called Pocket Cinematic. So if you guys want to know exactly what I'm doing to get professional looking results, we actually have a professional colorist teaching you every single step. So definitely check that out. But I'm going to go through the basics right now. So right here, I have my first clip. Simple pan down shot. We took on the iPhone 17e. We're going to create a CST in. This is color space transform to DaVinci wide gamut, where we can do all of our color grading. It's a wider space that lets you push and pull your footage a little bit more than just standard nodes. Within this, go to your effects and search for color space transform, drag and drop that on. In your input color space, you're gonna stick to your timeline because that's Rec 709. You're gonna stick to your input gamma, which is Rec 709 shot on the iPhone 17e. Output color space, we're gonna go and look for DaVinci wide gamut, output gamma, DaVinci intermediate. Now this washes out your image a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. What we can do is copy this node and create a new one, exactly the same node, but this time I'm gonna rename this to CST out. In this, right here, you'll see a swap button. Just click on swap. So node number 1 after our CST in is going to be our corrections. So here we would essentially correct any mistakes that were done while shooting. So again, like I said, in this case, it is slightly overexposed. So I would like to reduce my exposure a little bit. The way I see that works best is under HDR, the color wheel here. You can look for global and then reduce exposure. This acts literally like you're reducing the exposure on camera. It's the most realistic way of reducing exposure. And you can see it's already balancing it out just a little bit. So we'll just bring it down right about here. So we went from this to this. A little bit more balanced, a little bit more clean. Now the second thing I'm gonna do is make sure that my whites are pure white. I can right click here, add node, just so that these are separated, easy to find. I can add a parallel node and I'm gonna call this WB for white balance. The way you can do white balance is you could do a one-click solution, switch over to your color wheels, the primary color wheels. You'll see a little picker here, and if you hover it says white balance. Tap on that, look for pure white. So here you can see the values are slightly different. It's a little bit less on the reds, which is why it's greenish. If you tap once, instant, it went from that to that. This looks a lot more natural in terms of the colors that you're getting. A little bit too red for my taste, so if I hover on this, it's sitting a lot more in the reds. So what I can do after I've corrected the whites to be pure white, then the offset is where I can move it away from the reds. If this is too much, you can definitely check out the course because it explains this a lot better than I am doing right now, because Asif is way better at explaining this. All right, so right there, we went from this to this so far. A little bit cleaner, a little bit more intentional. Actually, after I change the white balance, I want to increase the exposure a bit more, so I'm gonna increase it right there. So now that I've corrected my exposure, I've corrected my white balance, the next step would be to add my subtractive saturation. So here's a secret sauce tip for you that not a lot of people talk about. So if I right click on my HSV, I can go into my channels. I will disable channel 1, I will disable channel 2, I will right click and I will go to my color space and I'll change that to HSV. So if that sounded like gibberish, that's fine. Just follow along because this is literally secret sauce. Once you've done that on your HSV, go over to your primaries once again, color wheels, and increase your gamma. So as you see, if I increase my gamma, it makes the color rich without looking cheap. You don't want to go too far with this because, you know, so I want to stick to somewhere at like 0.01 or 0.02. So just to show you a before and after. It's a very subtle push, but it adds a punch of color, a pop of color. It looks really, really good. Now that we have HSV, the final thing I want to do is after my CST node, I'll create a last node here and I'm going to call this Kodak Dusk. This is our custom LUT that we've prepared for you guys. So you can just simply go into your LUTs, look for Kodak Dusk for no log and drag and drop that on. Now, once you look at that, look at the before and the after. That looks incredible because we've made this to be very smooth and not harsh, but we can still tone this down a little bit to make it more subtle, more filmic. You shouldn't notice a color grade right away because that's too obvious. So under our key output for Kodak Dust, I'm gonna reduce this to like 0.45, like 45%. And then if you go for before and after, that looks so much better, so much more cinematic. Now, if you want to elevate your footage to the next level, we also have some things that we have included in our course, like the overlays that you can add on to get that film border since you're going for a film look. Let's say I like that one. So I'm gonna drag and drop this on top right here of my footage. And then I'm gonna just quickly change the blend mode right there, multiply. And then my clip underneath, I can just crop. And look at that. It looks so cool now. Like it's a really artistic touch on top of whatever you're doing. There's of course different sizes. So we've got one here, this is 4x3, I've got 16x9, I've got 3x2, and I've got 4x5. So whatever your size is, whether it's for Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you can slap these on, make it a really nice filmic look. Again, check this out in the description below. All right, so for the next few clips, it's exactly the same concept. I can actually copy the grade from the previous clip and then paste them on for the color correction. And then if I go into my notes here, you can look at how quickly it transforms the footage. So this was before and after. And again, these look really, really nice. This really shows you how you can push the colors even off a Rec 709 footage from a 17E. So this was the original footage we had. And after grading, you get the really rich tones. It really didn't matter what phone I was shooting on because the final footage that you see on screen right now can really tell a story and you can tie it in with a Sony camera or whatever camera. Of course, your limitations are there because you're shooting with something that's baked in Rec 709. It's not as flexible as log, but hopefully with this, you can see that you can actually push the limits a lot if you just know how to transform your footage and utilize the tools you have at your disposal like DaVinci Resolve. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys again in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.